Hello everyone and welcome back to my kitchen. Today I wanted to share a new piroshki recipe with you. We'll be making my baked cheesy chicken piroshki. These are simply divine and you're going to love them from the very first bite. These savory hand pies are filled with a creamy, cheesy chicken mixture dotted with loads of smoky bacon bits, green onion, and fresh dill. We'll get things started with a simple yeast dough. I use this dough recipe across all my piroshki recipes, and then for that filling we'll use shredded rotisserie chicken, cream cheese, cheddar cheese, bacon, sweet onion. This filling is amazing. We'll shape the piroshki and then you can either bake these or fry them. I'm going to show you how to bake them today with a little bit of sesame seeds on top. These are so incredibly aromatic and delicious. They make for a really great snack, an appetizer, or you can even make a meal out of them. For the full list of ingredients and the printable instructions, head on down into that video description box and over to my website. I'm going to have all the details, including metric measurements. Meanwhile, let's get started on this delicious recipe. Heat 1 cup of whole milk to between 120 and 130 degrees Fahrenheit. This is going to be the perfect temperature for activating the yeast. Pour the milk into a large mixing bowl. Add 1 tablespoon of sugar and sprinkle in 1 tablespoon of dry active yeast. I like to kind of tap the yeast into the milk and then let this sit for about 5 minutes, allowing that yeast to proof, and we'll come back. It should be nice and foamy and fluffy. Next, pour in a 1/3 cup of melted butter, 1 large egg at room temperature, and 1 teaspoon of sea salt. Whisk this all together. And we'll need 3 cups of all-purpose flour plus a little extra for dusting and adding as needed. You want to add the flour in gradually, whisking well after each addition, and then once a thicker batter starts to form, we'll switch over to a spatula. Sprinkle your work surface with flour, and then we'll turn out the dough ball. You want a soft yeast dough that's just barely sticky. Knead it for about 4 to 5 minutes until the dough is really smooth and elastic. Place this kneaded dough back into a mixing bowl and cover it up with a clean kitchen towel. I'm going to place this into a warm corner of my kitchen, allowing the dough to double up in size. It usually takes about an hour, hour and a half to proof. While we're waiting on the dough, we can get started on that cheesy chicken filling. Preheat a large frying pan over medium heat and start with a couple tablespoons of butter. I've diced 6 slices of smoked bacon. After a couple minutes, add in 1 large diced sweet onion. And we need to cook the onion for about 5 to 7 minutes until it's nice and tender. Add in 5 to 6 minced garlic cloves. And then cook this for 1 more minute. Set aside that bacon, onion, and garlic mixture to cool. Meanwhile, we can get started on the cheese mixture. So we'll need 8 ounces of softened cream cheese. Drop the cheese into a large mixing bowl. Add in 1/2 cup of sour cream. And then beat this together for about a minute until that cheese is creamy and smooth. We need 4 cups of shredded rotisserie chicken. I like to use a little bit of everything, so I have some chicken thigh, chicken breast, and a little bit of the drumstick in here. Just pull it apart into little bite-sized pieces. If you don't have any rotisserie chicken, you can also just roast a simple chicken in the oven, let it cool down, and then use it for this recipe. We're gonna drop the chicken into our cream cheese and sour cream mixture. Next, add about 1.5 cups of shredded cheddar cheese. Add that cooled onion, bacon, and garlic mixture. Ground black pepper. 1.5 teaspoons of sea salt. I would start with about a teaspoon and then adjust to taste. 1 teaspoon of smoked paprika. A couple tablespoons of fresh parsley. Fresh dill. And about 1/4 cup of diced green onions, just the green tops. And then use your hands to really mix everything together. My dough has proofed nicely, and now it's time to make some piroshki. So we're going to lightly flour our work surface. Make sure the dough doesn't stick. You want to punch the dough down gently. It's going to be nice and fluffy. We'll turn that out. Now you can make 12 larger piroshki with this recipe or 16 smaller ones. I'm going to do the 16 smaller ones today. Lightly flour your hands and then spread each dough ball into a little circle about 4 inches across. Add a generous amount of that filling right into the center. And then pull the dough up and around, and we're going to pinch everything up at the top. Place the piroshki onto a baking sheet lined either with a silicone mat, or you can use parchment paper. Give them a little bit of space in between each one. Once you shaped your piroshki, you want to grab a pastry brush, beaten egg in a little measuring cup, and then brush on that beaten egg all over the top of the piroshki. Sprinkle with some sesame seeds on top. I have my piroshki all done and ready to go, and now it's time for the second proofing. I'm going to let them stand at room temperature for about 45 minutes to an hour, allowing that dough to become light and fluffy again. Meanwhile, I'm going to preheat my oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, and once these are proofed, they're going into the oven for about 23 to 25 minutes until they're golden brown on the top. You want to let these cool down a little bit before you dig in to enjoy, because that filling is going to be super hot. If you want to deep fry these, head over to my website. I'm going to have the deep frying instructions online. Once I take the piroshki out of the oven, I like to hit them with a little bit of melted butter over the top. Just gives them a really nice finish. If you use some salted butter, it's going to add some extra flavor. And let these cool for a little bit before you take them off the baking sheet. Place them onto a wire rack to cool down. Let's split one of these open so you can see what it looks like on the inside. Check that out. Doesn't that look amazing? And now let's dig in to enjoy these cheesy chicken piroshki. They smell so good when they're in the oven. I love the aroma of the cheese, the chicken, the fresh herbs. These taste so incredibly delicious. These are just too good. These chicken piroshki are phenomenal. Everything about them is so incredibly delicious, starting with that soft yeast dough. I love adding that layer of butter on the top, just keeps the dough from drying out. Tastes so incredibly delicious. And then this filling, oh my goodness. It's so creamy, it's cheesy. You have chunks of delicious chicken paired with that cheddar cheese, and I love that combination. The onion, the garlic, the bacon bits adds so much incredible flavor. You guys are in for a real treat with this recipe. These make such a great snack or lunch or dinner. You are going to be in food heaven with these cheesy chicken piroshki. Don't forget to head on down into the video description box for the recipe link. Thank you guys so much for watching my latest episode, and I'll see you next time with a new recipe.